What about the openings? Talk.
Oh,
Well, yes. Anyway, welcome to God's Way, YTVY, the spiritual viewpoint. Tonight, I'm sitting in for Aldefina Shepherd because she is helping her husband who's convalescing from surgery, and we do miss her and wish Steve well. I'd like to introduce my guest tonight. My co-host is Josephine Perone.
Welcome to the light. Did I do that good?
Somebody had it. You did that very well.
I liked it.
You did like this? Okay. And tell her who you are.
I am Geozuwa,
Okay.
and I love being here. Thank you for having me on your show.
Absolutely. What is it? What's your special thing?
My specialty is everything.
Okay. We have a guy who does everything.
I've been doing the metaphysical since I'm a child, out of body, astral travel, remote viewing, remote healing, dream control, with no training. And now as an adult, through hypnosis, I'm able to teach others how to do the same things and have similar experiences. And I really love getting people out of their own way to heal on every level. So that's one of the main things I do. And I love bringing people to the other side, face to face with their loved ones who've passed away, their spirit guides. And then, of course, I bring them back.
And they're able to do it anytime they want to.
Right, and I teach them how to do it on their own as well. Yes, absolutely.
And Danielle, tell us about yourself.
I'm Danielle,
Speak
and
up.
I am a student of Josephine. Danielle, I am a student of Josephine, and she's been guiding me for the past 5 years in coming into my spiritual gifts.
Okay.
It's a beautiful thing.
George, you say getting people out of their own way.
Yes.
It's something that Josephine, we both say to people that they need to get out of their own way and they need to recognize who they are.
Right.
Okay. When you get them out of their own way, you take away what blocks them from
Yeah.
progressing.
Right. Obstacles, blockages. Like a lot of people, most people are operating on,
3D.
like bad programming. They're operating on mislearned behaviors, out of fear and whatever, things that have happened to them and their perception of the things that have happened to them. So one of the first things I do is get rid of those obstacles, neutralize any of those negative thought patterns,
Okay.
and then we do forgiveness.
When you-
Our most powerful healing tool is forgiveness.
When you do that,
Yes.
you do that like along, because the lives run parallel. You do it amongst all the timelines and all the parallel running time?
Absolutely. There's infinite realities, infinite dimensions, infinite timelines. You are infinite. Everything is infinite. Yes. So the one that's the most important is the one where you are right now. The most important you is sitting right next to me. So with you right next to me, yes, then we adjust everything across every timeline. And the forgiveness absolutely wipes away all of those negative obstacles and blockages.
The obstacles and also the baggage that you carried on from those lives.
Absolutely. Absolutely.
We call it what's committed to your vault from past lives. They're miasms. They're subconscious fears as well, the things that are subconsciously embedded in your thought system that come to the surface, that need to be purgated, addressed, identified, addressed, and then purgated. You do a great job
Absolutely.
doing that.
So we have,
It's the science of the mind, dynamics of ego. It's all complex.
well,
And at the same time, though,
it doesn't
it's
have
very
to be.
simple.
It's very
It is
simple.
so very simple. Everything is here and here.
Right.
Believe it, expect it, know it, and you'll heal like this.
The thing that Josephine and we like to say is this, and especially during the channel sessions I've been having as of late, they just say to you, goes, you are God's image in you. You need to recognize that, who you are, all right? Through the process of growing up, being bombarded with over education, seeing things that they're telling you it's not there and it is there, all right? But they dumb you down and you don't recognize your own gifts that you had, okay? And what happens there is you don't recognize the Christ presence in you, okay? You'll stagnate in this 3D world, all right? What George, what Josephine, what I do, and what Danielle does is we help you to recognize who you are. You're not just a person sitting in that body and this is it. You go to school, you go to work, and this is your life. Your life is endless. It doesn't end because your physical body passes away. All right? It goes on and on and on to learn more and more lessons. Now, what George was saying, he takes you to the other side to help you get out of your own way. Because that's what you're doing right now. You're stagnating in yourself. You're not progressing, all right? You're going through the motions day to day. My job, what to have for dinner, what to do for this, what to do for that. And it doesn't serve you. It holds you back. What do you think of that?
You want me to answer that?
Is it infinite possibilities?
There's absolutely infinite possibilities, absolutely. And you know, it's amazing. We live in an amazing time right now where ascension is happening. We're in an accelerated
concur.
rate of ascension.
Yes.
Right.
So realities are shifting moment to moment, and it is your choice. It's your choice to be who you want to be, to have the life that you want to have right now in the physical. And most people are waking up to their true, eternal, infinite selves now. And I don't know, I haven't spoken to you recently about this, but over the last 6 months,
Okay.
there has been a huge darkness that has been lifted
Oh, yeah.
from this world and every world. Completely gone. You can't even find it. It's gone.
We have been doing,
We've been
we have done world
planetary
clearing.
healing.
Oh,
planetary
absolutely,
healing,
yes.
You know?
I did my part and continue to do it.
And we continue to do it, right.
And they say, just be happy to do your part and then all will be well.
Everything will be fine. You know, and it's recognizing, like I said, that you are not here passing through this life. Don't let life happen to you. You happen to life. That means you wake up. Your DNA is programmed to progress, but your education and the stifling regiment of organized religions and things like that keep you binded. That's designed to keep you as sheep and not that you explore and
The
excel.
resolution to that issue is everyone should ask for an earnest quest for truth from God the Almighty and be open to what you receive in light and love, with an open heart.
So what do you think about that?
It's all very fascinating, I have to say, yes.
It's been fascinating for years now, isn't it?
About 5 years.
It continues to get fascinating.
See, and she became enlightened now, and it's not something that is a difficult thing to do. It's not like, you know, you're calling one of these 1-800 numbers on
No,
TV and saying,
absolutely
"Oh,
not.
Miss Cleo, tell me what's going to happen tomorrow." You know,
No.
that's all stuff for carnies, and there's a lot of carnies out there. Okay, all right. The best people who are intuitive are the healers, because they do it out of love. They don't do it out of the pocket. They
And-
do it out of love.
And one of the best ways to start this process is to always to work on you, work on yourself, to get yourself out of your own way, of course, to heal, because as you're healing, you know, making yourself a better version of yourself, like making yourself better, you make the world a better place.
Right.
You raise
That's it.
the frequencies and vibrations, your own frequencies and vibrations, the frequencies and vibrations of everyone and everything around you will continue to lift and rise. So just working on you, you're making the world a better place.
Right. you
So believe
become-
that, expect it, know that you're making the world a better place.
There's an old saying, you become the rising tide that lifts all the boats. I know it's
Absolutely.
a beautiful,
That's a perfect, what do they call that thing?
it's a metaphor.
Parable?
It's a parable, yeah.
Yes.
It's a philosophical one.
Okay, now, for instance, somebody comes to you, okay, and
Is this directed to me?
are you the person next to me? Yes.
Yes.
Okay.
Okay.
Somebody comes to you, and they have a family issue that's been going on maybe generationally,
Okay.
okay? And it just needs to stop, but they're just stifled in this thing that it constantly happens. Like, I see this in people when they come and they talk to me about it, just say like, it's a family trait that they have diabetes.
Okay.
You know, oh, my Uncle John lost his foot, my cousin did this, my aunt died
Right.
yesterday from this, you know.
Unfortunately, most people believe that, and they believe what the doctors say and what they say. And one of the first things I teach is absolutely get rid of what they say, what they have been telling you to believe, because they don't want you to create from your most positive, purest aspect of who you are. They want you to create out of fear. And one of the things, you know, people think, oh, well, this is hereditary. It's this gene, that gene. And nonsense. You can change anything like this. Change a thought, change a belief. You can change your DNA. You can unlock your DNA with your thoughts, with your words. And again, it is your choice. So make that choice. You don't have to be bound by genetics. You don't have to be bound by what they tell you is hereditary. You don't have to be bound by your experiences and the trauma that's happened to you. There is no reason for you to suffer ever again, whether you're 15, 25, 85 years old. Right now is your time to live your perfect life of infinite abundance, of happiness and joy. It's your choice. Do it.
See,
And the acceleration is just like that.
Yes, it's like this.
Like this, right at this moment, it's just like this.
what happens a lot.
Think and it happens.
What happens a lot in this life is that people watch the news and they're bombarded with. Say the news is 30 minutes, and you're going to see
Fear-mongering.
20 minutes of pure terribleness, if that's a word, okay?
I don't think it
And then they're going to put a little fluff thing with a puppy running across with a bone in his mouth, and that makes it all good, okay? It is horror. It's directed to keep you entrapped. We have to watch the news. Why doesn't the news ever put on anything that's good? And but things happen good in this world.
Absolutely.
But they don't show you that because that doesn't sell.
I hope I don't sound like anyone, but most news is fake.
It's fake.
It's absolutely fake.
It
Fake
is
news.
fake. It's created. You know what it is? It's conjecture. It's their point of view
and
to process.
One of the things, I tell people, especially people that have that are very big or deep into like conspiracy theories, every conspiracy theory is absolutely true.
Yep.
And at
Right.
the same time, it's absolutely false. It's your choice. But just by putting yourself and listening to it or watching those programs, it's going in, it's going to affect your behavior, your thoughts.
Yeah.
So why pay attention to it? If you know it's absolutely real,
Yeah.
and at the same time it's absolutely false, it's your choice, why even listen to it?
I had this conversation with Christine today over lunch, and I mentioned there was a psychic who was famous for one reason. Her name was Jean Dixon.
Are you allowed to say their names?
Yes.
Okay.
Okay. And she predicted that in 1960, during the election between Kennedy and Nixon, that Nixon would win and die in office. Now, she was wrong. Kennedy won and died in office. But because there was the connection of dying in office, she became world renowned, famous. Okay? And it's not exactly the truth.
Right.
Well,
It's somebody's truth.
actually, it was true. There's infinite realities,
Yeah.
infinite time. So there is a reality. There are infinite realities in which Nixon won
Yeah.
and he died in office.
And he died
There's
in office.
infinite realities where Kennedy won
and he
and died in office.
Yes,
There's infinite realities to everything. And I don't think we're going to get into the Mandela Effect tonight,
No,
but
it's a balance of the yin yang.
Right, I was
is
just
what
But the
it is.
realities are infinite. And again, knowing that should be very freeing because it is your choice. You can make your perfect reality now. Now that you have this information, and as people are waking up to their true eternal selves, and their frequencies and vibrations are rising, they're better at making that choice, choosing to heal to perfection, choosing to be of the light and go forward in a positive way and affect the world in a positive way. So yes, so even any psychic, that's why I always say, and no offense to all the psychics, because we are all psychic. Every single person in the audience all have psychic abilities. But I like to teach not to predict, but to create.
To create.
You create your reality.
Yep.
You have the power. And anytime a psychic or medium will look into your future, they're taking a snapshot of that moment and that strongest possible future, because
Right.
the future is infinite and there's infinite possibilities. So I like to teach to create.
To create.
Take your own power, take control of your mind, your thoughts, your intentions.
And keep in mind that your intentions, in order to create, need to be from here.
Yes,
They cannot be to hurt anyone.
absolutely. Never ever
Because-
control anyone else either.
That's it.
Please, don't.
Everybody has their own free will, and you're not allowed to circumvent that free will by imposing your will on it.
Right.
Absolutely.
To do that will absolutely, you will, if you have ability, you will definitely not be able to use it. So keep that in mind. You create your own reality. It was given to me once again during a course of channeling that we speak what we want into existence. And it's basically what George is saying. You know, you speak into existence what you want, okay? You empower the thought and then you will receive it. Everybody remembers when they were children and your mother said, Johnny, don't go down that block and play with that boy because there's no good, something's gonna happen. And you snuck out, you went to go play with Johnny, you broke your arm, okay? Now, how did your mother know that? It wasn't that your mother knew that. She implanted that thought in your mind and you empowered it. And that's
Absolutely.
why it happened.
Right, because children are very receptive
Yes.
to their parents' energy.
Absolutely. And that's another
And
thing,
I've
like
been highly aware of that.
the common cold is not a real thing, but people get sick, people get colds. But you know from the moment you were born and as you're growing up, the earliest ages you hear, bundle up or you're going to catch cold. You know, your parents, your grandparents, the teachers, you know, the change of weather, like New
Put
York
that
weather.
hat on your head.
You know, it's 80 degrees today, tomorrow it's
Right.
30 degrees, the change in weather, the craziness, you're going to get sick. They believe it as a child, they get sick, now they expect it. Now every year when the weather's crazy, they catch a cold.
Right.
That's their reality.
It's the empowered thought.
You
The
get what you
immortal
expect.
race suggestion that empowers those negative thoughts going around and
Absolutely.
around from.
I'm sure you all have
Everyone.
had it, you know. We do have a mic set up if anybody would like to come up and ask a question. Do we see any volunteers? There's like a lot of people out there tonight. Come on, somebody get up.
We are inviting the audience
Come
to
on
ask
up.
questions.
Okay,
Oh boy.
all right. You see the microphone, see the handle? You can squeeze that to bring it down to your height. Right, the great thing. Squeeze it and bring it down. There you go. All right, and what's your name?
Daniel.
Daniel, okay.
My question is, so it goes back a little bit. So the psychics and medium, if they can like take a snapshot of the future and like tell you the biggest thing, and like you control it. So does that mean they could tell you how you're doing right now, that that's how your life's gonna go, and if you keep doing what you're doing, that it's gonna stay like that?
From what I understand from the question, yes. So, but you have the power and the ability to change your mind, to change your future. So even if the psychic tells you X, Y, and Z is definitely going to happen, even if 1,000 psychics tell you X, Y, and Z is definitely going to happen,
You can change
you
it.
can change it like this.
If you
You
just
don't
make-
have to accept it. You can, unless it's great.
Right.
You know, if they
Right.
tell you you're going to hit the lotto and you're definitely going to hit the lotto, believe it, expect it, know it, you're going to hit
And
the
you're gonna have
lotto.
a lotto.
And remember us if you do.
Yes, don't forget us.
Okay.
Right, they're picking up a thought, a stream of consciousness that's going through your mind.
Right.
You, as a healer, as if you were sitting in front of me, I would take that stream of consciousness as bringing something negative, and I would zap it right out
Absolutely.
and heal it.
Beautiful.
That's the way it should be done. That's the difference between divination, psychic. You know, every medium has to be clairvoyant,
Right.
but not every clairvoyant is medium. So it also depends on what your soul is ready to receive. Sometimes, depending on what you come and sit in a session for, that is the information that will be given to you, and how to progress, how to have a harmonious progression in your life, and where it will lead you to. If your primary substance, as well, what you're supposed to be, what you came into this lifetime to do, what are your blocks, what are the impediments. We help you clear all those blocks, and bring you into a harmonious state of being where God's light is shining in you, and it's shining through you, so that you can continue on a pathway to fulfill the mission that you came in to do.
So you can say there's something bad gonna happen. You could change it so it'll be
Yes.
better.
Yes.
Absolutely.
Absolutely.
Absolutely, yes.
The only way something bad will happen is if you empower that thought. You bring it upon yourself. Okay?
Get rid of all
So,
the negative thoughts.
Don't do that.
don't
if
think
it's just, you're obviously in school, so say you took a test and you were worried, I studied, but I'm so worried I'm going to fail this test. Well, guess what?
You're
Probably
gonna
You
gonna
fail.
fail.
just bought it. All right? So don't do that.
Oh.
Okay? I aced
Well,
that test, piece of
As,
cake.
as a 10-year-old once told me,
10-year-old
pessimism is a flawed concept. You know?
A
He was a very
10-year-old
enlightened.
told
He was a very enlightened being
Okay.
of light, and I was helping him get
You
over
sure he
the
wasn't
problem.
schooled by somebody?
No, actually, well,
Okay. All right. Did we answer your question?
Yeah.
Okay.
Thank you for
then.
the question.
Thank you.
You sure you got all that?
Anyone else?
And that's another thing, as far as
Result is
which I do teach the psychics that come to me, And I think a lot of psychics are very irresponsible by seeing something, let's say like the problem with the knees, and they automatically tell the person, oh, you should get your knees checked out. Or sometimes they're in Starbucks and they pick up on an energy and say,
Right.
oh, you should go to the doctor, check your knees, or be careful. The moment they say it,
They start
now
worrying
the
about it.
person's either thinking about it, now it's what your mind imagines your body feels, what your mind imagines your body realizes. So now they hear that, they start focusing, now their knees hurt, or they trip and fall and they hurt their knee. If a psychic sees that, they should automatically, instead of telling the person, they should just heal it. Send love and light, pure positive intentions, pure love, heal the knee. Let the person get the lesson that they were going to get from the knee if they were going to have it, but get that lesson, get that message in the easiest, quickest, most positive, most beneficial manner for their highest good, their ultimate happiness, that doesn't include hurting the knee.
Right.
Now, if a psychic gets the message and it comes to your awareness that you absolutely have to tell the person, then that's something that you have to, you'll do, but you'll let it come to your awareness. But nine times out of 10, just heal it.
Right. Absolutely.
Yeah.
There's a lot of silent work that goes on with the healers.
Yes.
That we don't need to promote it out, and we do it for the service of the unity and oneness for God and the Christ and the Holy Spirit. But we do a lot of work silently.
Absolutely.
And that's what helps us, unify as planetary healers, as different, medicinal healers
And
as well.
a lot of times when we wind up doing healings, when we do them, a lot of times it's like we are at this place for a reason. I find this all the time. I go to places and I know that I'm not there because I have to do a job there. I know I'm there because I was sent there the minute the person opens their mouth.
Right.
Yeah.
I hear it, I know what's wrong. I sit them down and I start to talk to them and they start to cry.
Right.
Because
That's the light.
that's the light that's coming through them now. And like I have a very good friend of mine. He's like a 5-star chef, and I went to his house, and we always do this. We sit down, we have coffee, spulled right? And we had that, and we talk and have conversation. I'm noticing him, and I'm noticing his eye is drooping like this, and it actually mimicked Bell's palsy. And I looked at him and I said to him, what's going on with your face? And his wife saw this. But I knew something was up because I felt my hands radiating. So I just turned it to him, and it was in a matter of seconds, his face went back to normal in front of his wife, and she saw it. The tears that were flowing at that table that day, I hate to tell you. Now, he's thanking me. I said, don't thank me. I didn't do it. God does that.
Right.
You know what I mean? I never take the credit for that. You know what I mean? If you ask me for a healing, I would definitely send a healing. Okay? Do not credit me. Credit God. I am just a vessel.
Right.
That's it.
It's I.
I
When
am
we say
very
I, we mean in oneness
in
with God,
oneness,
the Christ,
yeah.
and the Holy Spirit. That's just
Now, another question.
a given.
When we're going
Are you going to ask Danielle any questions?
Nope.
Why? I wanna-
Nope.
Well, Danielle's a study of work of art. She's a study in this, so I'll let you ask a question about crossing over to him.
Oh my God, there's so many.
We'll come up with one.
There's so many.
I hear the Jeopardy theme. Is that helping any?
No, not at all.
Okay. All right, you want me to take this?
How does it feel from a first timer, if you will, for
Okay.
taking a first timer across, and like how was their experience?
Okay, for the first timer to go
Right.
to the other side, take the most amount of love you've ever felt in your entire life, take the happiest you've ever felt in your entire life, combine those two feelings together, multiply it by 10 million, and that feeling is still a fraction
Wow.
of what you feel when you're on the other side, in the presence of your spirit guides, that pure love energy. It's just absolutely amazing. And many times, just going there for a visit, instant healing takes place. So yeah, it's a beautiful, amazing, and very powerful
Situational
experience.
healing, too.
Everything.
Situational healing.
Everything.
I wanted to ask you something.
Did I answer your question?
Yeah.
Okay.
When we were talking, we were talking about the different councils on the other side, and I understand that you're a member of some of these councils.
Yes, I usually don't tell people that I'm a member of several councils, but now that we're on TV, you just brought it out, sure, yes.
I just ratted them out. Yeah, there you go. I'll tell
I
you.
am on several councils, yes.
Yes.
Ah, okay, that makes a lot of sense.
Well,
What kind of councils?
Council of Elders.
The Council of Elders.
I'm on the karmic board, which I'm eliminating all negative karma. It's a system that was put into place at the beginning. It had a usefulness, but that usefulness has outlived itself. Not all members on the karmic board want the karmic board to be dissolved, but I am one of them. There is no reason for karma anymore whatsoever.
Exactly.
We're here now to end the cycles of dysfunction, end the cycles of abuse and chaos. We're all lifting and rising and ascending. So there's no room for those karmic cycles. So what I do with everyone who comes into my path is we eliminate all negative, all karmic contracts and obligations, null and void. That's it.
Interesting.
You're free, and you don't have to have any more future
out
physical
again.
lives
Yeah.
either.
Right.
It's your
we'll
choice.
Place them in their holy I
Right.
am presence
Absolutely.
and purification.
Absolutely.
And
Josephine
I've
and
done
I,
that many times.
we have recently been
You forget.
ascended to the angelic realm.
Okay.
Okay, and
Yeah, what board are we on?
uh,
Council 12, Council 9,
we are
the
the
Karmic
Fantastic
Council.
Four.
Sisterhood of the Roses in the
Okay.
order of Melchizedek is,
Okay.
and like you said, we know at this moment, we're not here to dwell in past life regressions as far as clearing it. We just clear it
That's it.
Absolutely.
out.
What they told me through channeling is that
Any discordian energies
any
are cleared.
the beauty of the ascension that we just had, okay, changed our chakra system. Now it's a cyclonic diamond system.
Okay.
Okay, everything is totally reinforced and totally stronger, and that karmatic issues that used to plague us, okay, it's just snap away,
Gone.
gone.
That's it.
And we can do that. The thing, though, is that if we, we could do it for others.
Absolutely.
The thing is that they could possibly reincur karmic issues by not leading a spiritual life, and building more.
Perhaps,
karma.
but when you say spiritual life, as long as you're not harming others, as long as you don't have bad intentions for others, as long as you're not trying to control anyone else, you don't have to be where, people say, well, you have to be spiritual, always bowing to everyone doing it.
No, not bowing,
you just,
not
well, what
bowing,
I'm saying is a lot of people get that misconception when
Yeah.
you say spiritual,
No,
that
when
they
I'm
have
saying
to follow a
spiritual,
religion or
I'm saying
anything.
Be within, be
Right.
yourself within. Karma, you hear people use that word so loosely today.
And no one should
Well-
use that. No one should use that word anymore. Absolutely, please. 2018, going forward for the rest of your life, don't wish karma on anyone. Like, oh, that karma's going to catch up, or what's that expression? What
Yeah.
goes around comes around.
Yeah.
Stop saying it, because
Right.
you're giving that energy. And a lot of times you're misinformed. A lot of times, have you ever been accused of something that you didn't do, but there's a group of people that think that you did it? And have you ever been accused of something you didn't do?
Always.
Always.
Yeah,
Always.
always.
Right. Now, think about this. Now, those people think you did this bad thing,
Right.
and now they're wishing karma on you. Just that lower frequency and vibration,
Right.
can attach to someone else and interfere with their path.
Right, she's
So
been taught to transmute any negation coming
Everything.
to her.
And
Everything
never
is
send it
transmuted.
back. You always send back forgiveness, love, and
Love
light.
and light.
Forgiveness, love and light.
Absolutely. Love
Oh,
and
I
light.
send my
And
enemies love
forgiveness.
and light.
Always.
Always.
Why would you have any enemies?
She's sweet. I thought she's sweet.
Hey, I don't get it. I don't understand. Now, I can understand if someone on the table has an enemy. With wisecracks,
Why is
jokes.
he looking
Why
at
not?
me?
No, him. I'm looking
Oh,
at him.
and he looked right at me.
I just.
But you don't. You're a great guy.
Thank you. Coming from another.
Does
great guy.
everyone get your humor?
Yes, we pat each other on the back now. This is when we had that kumbaya moment.
Yes.
Yes. I tell you, it's fascinating, and it's fascinating to the average lay person to hear about, the ability to cross over, the going self-hypnosis and making their lives in this realm so much better, because you're taking them out of their own way, and they get to be blessed in the light. And they
Absolutely.
actually, as they cross over, like you said, they feel that tremendous love. This is the same
Right.
love that you've heard from anybody who's ever had a past life, not a past life regression. They had what do they call that when you die but you went to the other side?
Life between life?
Yeah, it's something like that. And they come back and said, I wanted to stay. It was just pure love. You know what I mean?
Do you get to pick who you get to see?
Yes, absolutely.
Really?
Yes.
I have a bunny I want to see. Can you see your pets?
Yes, absolutely.
Yes.
Absolutely.
That sounds fun.
And it's not like you see them just as clearly as we see one another right now. You see your spirit guides or your loved ones who've passed or your pets. And you hear, you feel. It's an amazing, beautiful experience.
Is the conversation vocal or is it telekinesis? What do they call it?
Yes, both.
Okay.
And all of the above. I mean, it varies person to person, but each time you do it,
Right.
it's a different experience as well. Because every time you go, now your frequency is higher, your vibrations are higher, so now you're more receptive, you have more of that awareness. Because every time you do it, you're more and more aware than the time before. Everything clearer and brighter. But yeah, you hear, you feel, you know, very
It's
powerful.
it's a beautiful thing.
And you mentioned about the pure love from the other side. The truth is that pure love is who you are. You are God, and that energy is inside of you. So the same energy that's outside of you when you connect to Source, you have it inside of you. It's there at all times.
So
Yeah,
how come we don't
absolutely.
feel it all the time?
You
Joy?
can feel it all the time. They didn't tell you that you could feel it all the time. They tell you that, you have to wake up, go to work, and struggle through life, and everything's a struggle. No, it doesn't have
It's
to be.
programmed in
Right.
your head, you go.
Change the
get a-
programming.
Right.
Go to school, get a good education, get a
Right.
good job, get
Create
this,
a
get
life
that.
you don't need a vacation from.
Right.
Heard that once before.
How about creating a life that is a vacation?
There you go.
I actually
I've
said
been
the
on
other
one
day,
vacation.
I'm on vacation all the time. My husband said to me, let's go on vacation. I said, I'm always on vacation. In my head.
Well, that's good.
Nice.
Yeah.
We can go to the beach anytime you'd like.
A little
Bingo.
cold right now for that. Anyway, anybody have any questions or like to come up? Come on, Rich, come and give a question there. I'm sure you're sitting over there saying, are these guys high? No,
I think it's legal now.
I
it
have one.
is in some
I've never
states.
tried it once at all, ever.
What?
Excuse me?
You never tried what once?
Marijuana.
Oh.
Raise the mic up.
Are you allowed to
please.
say that on television?
Yeah.
Okay. I've never tried it.
Hi, I'm Rich.
Okay,
Hi, Rich.
Hi, how you doing? I heard you mention the Mandela Effect before. I don't want you to get into too much detail if you don't want to, but I've heard it before, and I think it has something to do with multiple realities.
Absolutely. Yeah.
And how that was once experienced by a mass group of people. That
It's experienced by the masses every single day, nonstop. And with this, we're in an accelerated time of ascension, so realities are shifting and merging moment to moment. So to answer, you're asking about the Mandela Effect. Yes, there's infinite alternate universe. It's a multiverse, and the multiverse is infinite. There's infinite timelines, infinite dimensions. You are infinite. Everything is infinite. And as people are waking up right now, because the planet is waking up, you're noticing these things. And for many actually, you ever notice you're walking down the street and the building's on the left side and you're saying to yourself, wait a second, that building was always on the right side, and then you brush it aside and say, oh, well, maybe I remembered it wrong, maybe it's always been on the left side, or a door, it's whatever it is. You have these experiences, and a lot of people brush it aside and say, oh, I must have remembered it wrong. And that's what they try to do with Nelson Mandela, is that he had died in the 80s, and they had a big funeral for him and everything. Large portion of the planet was aware that he died, and they mourned. And then again, he got released from prison in the 90s because we've shifted into a reality in which he didn't die in the 80s. And that actually, I've had students that have had their friends, their grandparents that have passed away several years ago, and then they're alive now. We shifted into realities where they're alive.
There's a lot-
I know it sounds
I know it
crazy, but
sounds-
you'll see these things. And if you look at I Love Lucy. Ever see that show, I Love Lucy? You ever see the show, I Love Lucy?
yeah.
Absolutely love it.
You know the saying that he did in almost every episode, and I'm not good with impressions, but Lucy, I'm going to sound
You got
ridiculous.
explaining.
You got some splaining to do. You remember that saying?
Oh, absolutely.
Yeah.
He's never said it. We're in a reality right now that he never said that.
Wait, what?
Yes, we shifted. We are now in a reality in which
Oh,
he
sure,
never
now
said
you
it.
wake up.
Also, Desi Arnaz. Lucille Ball, Desi Arnaz. How do you spell Desi Arnaz, the last name? It's A-R-N-E-Z, correct?
I don't know.
Now it's A-Z.
A-Z.
But you can talk to the majority of the population Remember it and know it as ARN, easy. It's now AZ.
Talking about the same thing with things changing, I was sitting here with Al DeFino one day, and we were talking about the Mandela Effect, and the Mandela Effect has changed a lot of documents, including
Oh, absolutely.
including the Constitution of the United
And the
States
Bible.
and the Bible.
Yes.
You know, there are things in the Bible that, you know, I went and I opened it up, and I know what it used to say because I studied that book in and out.
Absolutely.
And it's not there anymore. They changed it to fit the times.
And when you say they, it's we shifted into a reality where it was always that way. Anyone ever watched the show Sex in the City?
Yes.
Sex in the City. It's now Sex and the City. And it's always been Sex and the City in this reality that we now shifted into. You remember it as Sex in the City?
Yeah.
In the city.
Yeah.
Nope. It never existed. It's always
What do
been
you know?
sex.
And
It
the city.
was.
No. Go look at your old, if you have DVDs or posters or magazines, it's
Right.
not going to
You'll
say
see
in.
it's different.
It's going to say
And
and the city. It's no longer Sex in the City. It's always been Sex and the City.
so this is
We
your
shift-
homework assignment
So
now.
these are infinite realities that if now you start to look at it, you're going to see that we're shifting into different realities. And yes, people do change. It happens all the time, moment to moment right now.
And instantaneously, you could change the past as much as you could change.
You
the
can
future.
change the past, absolutely. Well, the past does change. When you shift into another reality where it's always been Sword in the Stone. You ever see the cartoon Sword in the Stone?
No.
No, I haven't.
Okay, have you ever, you know the expression, mirror, mirror on the wall?
Who's the fairest of them all?
Who's the fairest of them all? Does everyone know that expression, mirror, mirror on the wall?
Right.
Never said. It's always been magic mirror
On the
wall. Who's the fairest of them all?
I always thought it was mirror.
Right, now go look at the old children's books, go look at the
Yeah.
cartoons. It says magic mirror on the wall. But you definitely know it was mirror, mirror on the wall.
I have a question.
Danielle
So-
has a question, everyone.
So, well, I'm piggybacking off of your question because, so when you say they shifted the timeline into this alternate reality,
So she knows we're a timeline.
Okay.
Okay, so that means she knows what she's talking about.
Okay,
Go ahead.
well, no, I know you know, yes, she
Have to
has,
validate
she's
that.
taught,
We know she knows
because
what she's
know,
talking
that's
about.
why
she's
she's
taught
sitting here.
She has taught me
Okay,
about
okay.
the different timelines. Okay, so we're in this timeline, right? Who are they?
Which they are you referring to? Not the they
Whoever
that change, because
are that change our
reality-
Because he and I have the same expression on our faces right now.
there's infinite realities, infinite timelines. Every possibility exists at the same exact time. It is infinite.
So who is flipping us around?
No one is flipping
Nobody's
us
flipping
around,
us
and it
around.
depends on the reality. It depends on your reality, where you're from, what's going on, how you're asking the question. If you're referring to it's just happening. When ascension is happening, you keep
Right.
shifting into that higher reality as we're
Okay.
moving forward. No one ever goes back. You keep moving forward.
Right.
And with every shift, you're shifting into a reality. You're at a higher vibration. People are waking up. So everyone as a collective continues to lift and rise. So all of these realities, the infinite alternate universe, multiverse, it all exists at the same time.
At the same time. It's
Knowing that it's your choice, you now take control of yourself, your power, your mind, your intentions. And you don't have to worry about what's going on anywhere because everything is real. And at the same time, none of it's real. You are God. You are God.
There you go.
You
I've
are
said that
pure
a million.
love. So knowing that should be very freeing. And you don't have to worry about books changing or,
Right.
the reality shifting.
Right, you're right.
For
Just-
It doesn't really matter.
Yes.
For
in
those
the
of
grand
you
scheme
out
of
there
things.
that
Right.
think
Right,
that
you
was
just focus on your now moment.
sacrilegious saying that you are God, that is in the Bible. Jesus says it several times. Didn't I tell you to his apostles that you are God? You are the God presence in you. You're that spark of God in you. When you recognize that, then you start the ascension.
Absolutely.
That's it. Otherwise, you're
Thank you. I
Kinda
think you've
stagnated in
answered
this
that question.
world.
Did I answer your question? You probably have more questions
I have
now.
a better understanding of it.
Good.
I know I didn't know the specific occurrence, but basically it was Nelson Mandela.
That's what it was named after, yes.
Yeah, he died in the late '80s, but then in the '90s the event was that he he got out of prison?
Yes, he was released from prison, yeah.
He was just sleeping all that time, in
Yeah.
between. It was just, a dark
wonder if
Yeah,
side.
that's
I seem to remember both.
Tupac is still alive in this reality. Yes,
Who said no way? Come up here and ask that question.
I'll
absolutely.
sit so somebody else can go and come up, but thank you.
All right, thank you
Okay.
for your question.
You gonna ask about Tupac now?
I'm sorry, I shouldn't have brought that up.
It's okay.
Troublemaker.
Always have been.
All right, Daniel. Hey, let it
Welcome
fly.
back, Daniel.
Thanks.
By the way, your teeth are going to look fabulous when you get those braces off.
Thanks.
And just like you can scrap all the iron, don't worry, you'll make a lot of money.
When is your birthday?
October 30th.
Okay, very nice. Right before Halloween.
Right before Halloween, on the cusp.
Mm.
Okay, what's your question, Daniel?
All right. So you're saying that in different realities, all these people are alive. So I'm curious. Say when I die, will I go to another reality?
It depends, but actually when you die, you're not really dying. When your physical body dies, you are still alive, just energetically in a different form. Your soul is eternal. So you're going to go to the other side.
Yeah.
Got all that?
What you
But there are still versions of you that will be alive in other realities. And from the other side, you can still see and experience those other realities as well at the same time.
So I'm always living, just in different forms.
Yeah.
Absolutely.
The only thing that passes away is it was given to me once again. It's called the envelope. What you're inside is the envelope. Okay, you are not what you see here. All right, you are spirit energy. You're your soul energy. It never dies. It's eternal. Okay, you've had a lot of things, shoved down your throat about, internal damnation and all of this stuff. If you believe that, then that will be your reality.
Right. We are children of the all good, born of an eternal day, which is completely eternal love, eternal light, an eternal flame.
You tell them,
God's
sis.
eternal God. There's a lot of people not speaking that language anymore because it's shifted into a different timeline. And then they shifted me into a different timeline. It goes back and forth.
I get so many people telling me, weren't you born Catholic? I said, I was born a human being.
Well, I must
You're
say,
born a child of the all good.
I'm a recovering Catholic.
Me too.
Recovering Catholic.
Me too.
As well.
Me too.
I'm a recovering
Me too. I had a priest. I had him agreeing with me after a few minutes because he couldn't answer the questions. Could not
Yeah.
answer the questions.
Well,
Thank you very much,
a lot of
Danielle.
their information was discouraged because it took too long to explain things.
Yes.
So
Anyone else? How about somebody of the older faction? Marie, get up there.
I don't have a question.
So come up and ask something you don't know.
I don't have a question.
Who's going to win the third race in Hialeah? Come on. Come on and ask us. We can give it a shot anyway.
All right, I have a question for you.
Oh, you have a question for me?
I do.
Okay.
So, of the people who would be excited to cross over, why would someone have any hesitations? Like, is there anything to be afraid of? And if somebody did have hesitations, how would you tell them, don't worry about it?
Okay, for one thing, everything is all up to you. It's all up to the individual. And there is nothing to fear. So I would have that extra conversation with the person
Right.
just to get rid of any of that fear. And usually before I'll take someone to the other side, I will do forgiveness work with them. Because sometimes when a person has a little hesitation to go to the other side because they have certain guilt or they don't think that they're going, that they need to work on themselves
Right.
first. And some people believe that you have to be completely forgiven before you go to the other side, which you don't. You can visit anytime you want, but I'll do forgiveness work with them before I bring them to the other side. So they're clear and
Right.
there is no fear. There's no hesitation. And there's nothing to fear. I mean, you're going there. You're always connected to your physical body. Even, now I do take people, besides that one way I showed you, I explained to you about taking your mind, separating your mind from your body, and then guiding you through the tunnel. I also teach people how to do it through astral traveling, energetically leaving
Right.
their body. And you could do that. There's infinite ways of doing that too, through each chakra. And going through each chakra is a different experience, different feeling, different sensations, different awareness. And also teaching through dream control, like lucid dreaming. When you become aware that you're dreaming, you can then at that point call in loved ones to communicate, and it's them. It's, you know, it's not just your dream. It's they enter your dreams because you're
Right.
in that state already.
Right.
So there's infinite ways of doing it. But one of the first ways is to separate your mind from your body and then guide your mind through the physical to the higher states and then through the tunnel. Why, do you have any hesitation?
No, I just feel like everybody should do it then.
Absolutely.
You know what I
Of
mean?
course
Like I feel
everybody
like
should
everybody
do it.
should just do it. So,
Absolutely, and that's
but
another
they're
thing.
afraid,
You
or-
know, when you're, you know, throughout your life, you know, let's say if you went away for a weekend or you're on vacation or you haven't seen your relative in a while, what do? Well, now you're texting nonstop, or you're on Facebook, you're calling, you're always communicating. Our home, our real home, is on the other side. What makes you think that we're not supposed to communicate, that we're not supposed to visit?
Right.
You're here getting this physical experience, but you can still
Yes.
communicate,
Right.
you can still visit.
The veil between this life and that life is so thin right now,
Right.
Yes.
you know, and it sooner or later it's not going to be there anymore. So you'll be able to do the crossing anyway.
Yes.
All right.
And on another level, you know, I love for people to evolve their souls to the highest levels, and yeah, there's not going to be death. I mean, right now you think this is all physical. We're physical, but it's all energy.
Right.
It's just a denser energy at the moment, but it's lifting, and everyone is lifting and rising, ascending. So there is no more death in the way that people describe death.
Right.
So
What it has been since we've become a far more technically advanced civilization, you know, and like I hate to keep on bashing out the educational system and the religious things, but you know what? When you take, you know, that stuff that's been drilled in your head, and that doesn't become your truth, it becomes your mantra. And then you wind up signing on for it, and you believe that. You know, if I do this, I'm going to go to hell. You're not going to go to hell, but if you believe you are, there's going to be a hell just for you.
Right.
and a lot of people do
It's a
consider
state
this
of
earth.
consciousness.
Yes.
Heaven
Hell.
is a state of consciousness, and
So I
as
would
well.
definitely urge you to go within, recognize who you are, and start the ascension process. The ascension process is just bringing light and love not only to you and to your loved ones, but to everyone else around you. All right, and this is what you need to do. You need to start to do that. These things that you've been taught all your lives, that book has been subverted, number one. It's been changed and reinterpreted 1,700 times. Do you think that man would put the actual truth that was in there? You think that man would separate books that would shed light on their hypocrisy? No, they won't do that. Why? This
And control.
and control.
Yeah.
Okay?
Can I add one of the things,
Go ahead.
one of the important things for you to do to ascend, to start the process, is forgiveness.
Oh, forgive it, yeah.
And, you know, a misconception about forgiveness, like people think if you forgive the person that you have to tell them, that you have to have them over for coffee or tea. Just because you forgive them doesn't mean you're changing who they are. If they're highly toxic, if they're abusive, do not associate with them.
No.
But you must forgive because
Forgive
the
'em.
forgiveness is for you. When you forgive, you free yourself of any of the control, of any of the things that, whatever they may have done to you, but you free yourself to heal.
yourself.
You free yourself to
Grow.
rise. I mean, it is so important, so powerful. And you could begin by forgiving everyone of anything every night before you go to sleep. You're going to start to sleep better. You're going to heal. And then when you're ready, truly forgive yourself. Truly forgive yourself, and that's the most important. Know that
Well-
you are absolutely forgiven from this moment on.
On the same token with that,
Right.
if you can't love yourself, then
You
you
must love
can't
thyself
love
first.
anyone else.
Right.
Because you don't know love yourself. So love yourself first, number one.
Yes,
Okay.
please.
Then, what's the thing we were just talking about now as far as forgiveness? When you forgive somebody, you have to forgive the people who have alienated you, or people who have crossed the line with you. But at the same token, you're allowed to hate the sin. That is the only time you're allowed to hate.
I don't even.
I don't like that word.
Well,
You don't have
I
to
don't
hate
like
the
to use
sin.
that word, but you are.
You don't
allowed-
have to like what the
You don't
person
have
has
to like
done
what
to
they've done,
you.
but you can hate the sin because it is a sin, okay? And that sin has affected you, okay? And now you forgive it, and that's that. And move on.
Even sin is.
It's not real.
It's not real.
It's not real. It's not real. But you know what? They got to start somewhere. They can't jump from A to Z. There's all the stuff in between they got to learn on the Ascension Path. Now, George, like I said, if you take a course with George and he teaches you how to cross over and you start to learn the Ascension Path, all right, you're going to be better for it. Your life is going to be better. You're going to improve, and you're going to recognize the falsities of this world.
You're going to make the world a better place.
That's
Just by working on you, you're making the world a better place in every direction,
Absolutely.
every timeline, every reality.
That's for sure.
That is the truth.
Any more questions while we have a few minutes? Come on, Marie, you're thinking of something. Jeez. We got 5 minutes. Come up here.
I don't have a question.
Well, come up here and pretend you do. And then we'll give you a question. What do you think
We
it
may have
is?
questions for you.
All right, she don't want to come up.
Danielle, since you're at the table, do you have any more questions?
I have so many.
So many questions.
Yeah.
Yeah.
She's definitely, her brain starts going, and she has a lot of questions.
I do. My wheels
Well,
are
ask him,
spinning.
you know what would be an interesting question, George, being that we know that you're on the couple of the boards there.
Chairman of the board. He knows Frank.
Chairman, yeah. He knows
Well,
Frank?
nothing to do with religion, but on the main council, the head of the council is Jesus.
Right, it's Jesus.
Nothing to do with religion.
Right.
And, you know, when I take, you name the faith, when I take them to the other side,
Right.
there is no ego, there is no religion, and they see, they hear, they feel, and some of them have been, even Muslims, been in the presence of Jesus,
right.
and a magical, amazing experience. But I'm sorry, go ahead.
Right. Well, that's important to know as well, because we've all had so many of different denominations, and they all fall under the same concept of oneness. There is no division by religion, and everybody is equal. I was going to ask you, as like working on those councils with do you work with the angelic realm? You do.
Work
Right.
with the infinite, and you know, there's a lot of people here on Earth that call in help from other systems, other like the Pleiadians, and all
Right,
the
right.
other.
Mercurians.
But they call me to go work with them, and I do that.
And
I'm
right,
actually,
so you're-
and I know this sounds crazy, but you already put some of my business out there. So I am in multiple locations at the same time. And when we were talking
Right.
about the infinite realities
Yeah.
and the Mandela Effect, I have conscious memory and awareness
Right.
of being in several realities at the same time. Oh, I'm saying this on TV.
What that's to
You know
do-
what? If you don't see me ever again, please come get me out of the asylum.
You know.
Thank you.
Oh, well,
No,
yeah.
but
But I am.
that
I have.
question was because we needed to know, because we.
Do you have awareness of being in
Oh,
several
absolutely.
realities?
In other words,
Always
when you-
working.
Take her
since-
first.
Since you've crossed over so many times,
I have my own macabre body. I can come and go whenever I please.
You've become omnipresent. You can be in multiple places
Yes.
at once, and that's basically.
And people
what it
do
is.
see me and
Yes.
confirm that I'm in other places
Yes.
and in other realities.
Yes.
In other realities, sure.
You know, I told George about a dream I had the other night. Josephine knows it. That I was at
Did we-
a giant table, and the light of God was behind, and Jesus was in front. And there was a lot of guys that looked like Charlton Heston on the side here as Moses, you know, and a lot of them, about 30 of them. And I was a little child. 3 minutes. All right, so we had 3 minutes. Yeah, geez. Anyway, the words I heard from Jesus was that you have to come to the Father with the innocence of a child, okay? And that's basically what it is. When you recognize who you are, you realize that you're a child of God, okay? And once you realize that, okay, then you know who you are and what your path should be, all right? And that's to enlighten and to love everyone as God loves you, period, the end. Is that good?
Well, there's never
There
an
is
end.
no end.
There is no
Well,
end.
there is no end. Gee, he beats me with this stuff all the time. I'm telling
She
you.
jumped in too. Wasn't just me.
Troublemaker. No questions, right?
Just know that you are pure love. You are
Okay.
infinite. You are powerful. You are eternal. Know it with absolute certainty, and everything falls into place, and you begin to heal like this.
So every time you think that your day is
Jeez.
terrible and stuff like that, recognize who you are. Change your reality by changing your thoughts,
Absolutely.
okay? All right?
Yeah, I pull out my sword and my staff, and I just chop everything up and transmute it, boofed, and it's purified.
Got the Ginsu knives?
Yeah, like Ginsu
Okay,
knives.
all right.
You have a physical staff?
Well, she has, I saw her
It's
staff.
an ethereal staff.
It's ethereal.
Okay,
one.
all right. So you don't have a physical staff,
I have Moses' staff,
do you?
yes.
Okay.
And I have Michael's sword.
Okay.
So.
Well, yeah, we all have equipment that's not visible to everybody else, but we know we have.
I was just, that's why I
embedded.
was asking if you had a physical staff, and then I was going to ask how big is the staff?
Christine has a physical staff.
Yes, I know. I saw her, a picture of her staff. That's why I was asking.
All right, we got
That's
1
what she
minute, so
said.
let's wrap this up. I'd like to thank our guests for coming here and our studio audience. It's wonderful having as many people as we do. And our crew, the guys in the booth back there, take a wave. Do a wave, they're all waving. It's a kumbaya moment. All right. And I'd like to thank our sponsors, Antonio's Pork Store in Tottenville and Aardvark Pest Control in Great Kills. And I'd like to, like I said, guest information will be, as we put the show up on our Facebook page, there will be all the contact information. And you can contact them or you can contact me here at the studio under the care of the show, God's Way YTVY. God's Way YTVY. Wow, I couldn't even say it, Joe. All right. Thank you very much for coming, and good night. Bye now.